Alrighty then.
Don't pee on the floor, use the Commodore. Yeah. La, 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 la.
Piano. That's the only one I said. You see that shit? Stop recording.